Hello and welcome to the Talkin Bits podcast. I am your host, Michael Rose, and with me, as always, is the other guy that we love and adore. That host of, or not the host, the owner, proprietor, whatever of Don't Tell Tri-Cities.
Nope, actually,
Sponsor.
host was the only thing true out of those.
I don't know, brand rep for Don't Tell Tri-Cities. Yes. Sure. Nathaniel, I haven't seen you in, we haven't recorded. We took last week off.
We did.
And I got to say, I did not miss you.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, we were on vacation.
So was I.
You and I, we did our
not together.
Respective vacations.
Separately.
Separate but equal.
Very much. It's very funny that we did, I did a very kid-friendly vacation. You did a very non-kid. And it's very like.
That's true.
You know, par for the course. You know, I went to a residential-ish beach, and you went to fucking New Orleans.
Went to New Orleans. The French Quarter, of all places, too. Yeah. And I'll say this, there's quite a few families with strollers just cruising down Bourbon, which is something to see.
I've never been to New Orleans, but like I know
it's not where you want to take OJ. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Not right now, maybe when she's 21, but no.
Yeah. Maybe not even then, her being my child. That feels weird, you know.
It felt weird. When I saw it, it felt weird.
Yeah.
And especially like, you'd be like a mom holding like a $16 daiquiri frozen
while she's breastfeeding.
No, she's breastfeeding the daiquiri. No, just pushing a stroller while getting hammered is just it's a unique choice. As a parent.
I don't drink anymore, as I've told you on the podcast, but I did not like even drinking. I didn't like to be drunk. Near Olivia, that felt weird.
Well, there's a lot of public transportation down there too, so I guess you can get hammered in front of your kid and just Uber home or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what they were doing.
Sure,
that's just the culture, man.
I mean, there's Ubers everywhere, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, that's cool. Yeah,
cable cars. Yeah,
welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Today we
sad to be back.
Yeah, me too. I miss the beach. Today we have the best, the most recurring guest, I believe. I think officially the most recurring guest.
Yeah.
John Pruett.
Mr. Pruett.
With us today.
Yes.
He is has a lot of stories from Don't Tell, from New Orleans, and
where he was not. He's a real sweetheart. He's a big old sweetie. We were supposed to have him on our last episode, which I think we kind of mentioned.
Yep.
And he was deathly ill, so we're very glad that he recovered and is back with us today because he's our favorite. So this will be Pruett Chronicles.
I don't even know.
6, 7, 9.
No, it's not that high.
12. Who knows?
Pruett Chronicles 69. Let's go. We love you.
We'll get
bye.
There.
Not bye. Enjoy the episode. And we are back with Mr. John Pruett.
What's say now?
Hey,
how's everybody doing?
Oh, God. They're so good. They're so good hearing your sweet, sweet voice. They're so happy.
I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. You just looked me in the eye and said they're so good. And I was like,
they're so good.
Cool. So good.
They're
so good.
I thought you were talking about your coffee for a second. I was like, it is pretty good, but I don't think they can relate to that.
Yeah,
so.
Get a towel. Anyways, Pruett is back. This is Pruett Chronicles number 4, which in the intro, I didn't know what number it was, but it's only 4, which just shows how much I love them.
He said 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
And this episode, I promise we're not going to talk about Mark Norman.
That's what you think. that's
all Nathaniel's talked about.
Yeah,
that actually reminds me.
Comedy, am I right?
You know where he's from. You know where he's from.
New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck.
And that's, so you got to have a nice little trip.
I did.
Did you go suck his dick while you're not? I'm sorry,
unfortunately, I did not see Mr. Norman when I was there. No, Pruett and I talked a little about it last night. I just wanted to say that the New Orleans comedy scene is wonderful, very inviting, very different.
But
some of the rules, but it's just different. It's some of the not the rules, just the norms and some of the show structure. Like, for instance, the first of all, shout out to Mark Caesar. He's an incredible comic who had me on his show. Also, shout out to Amy, David, Ben. There's tons of dudes down there that were fucking wonderful to me. But so I go, and so the host does close to 20 on a show there.
Opens up with 20 minutes?
Opens up with close to 20, yeah. And about 10, 15 in, the crowd's not super hot yet. It's a very small crowd that night. And so he says something to the effect of like, what, are you guys not ready for comedy? And there's really no response. So he literally opens the curtain back to where we're all at in the green room and just goes, sorry, guys, they're not ready to start the show, so I'm going to just stay on. And then does another 6 or 7 after that. Like, pushing 20 at that point.
I leave.
Yeah.
Well,
as an audience member,
my first
potentially as a
reaction
comic.
was, what the fuck? And then I was like, well, it must just be different. I don't know. Maybe every show down here is like this.
Yeah.
And I was correct because I did one later in the week. Different host, different lineup. Pretty similar situation there. Yeah, pretty similar. But the weirdest part was like between every comic, it was like another 5 or 8 minutes from the host.
No.
Was it good jokes at least? Like,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the dude that hosted that Sunday show was very nice. First of all, they let me jump on with nothing but a tape and an email. They had no idea if I was good or not.
And this is an actual show or an open mic?
It was an actual show. Both were paid spots. Well, the Sunday one I did was 10 minutes and it was a paid spot. And then on the Wednesday one, they were like, well, we have already booked all of our paid spots, but we loved your tape. We think you would fit this lineup. So if you'll do a 5-minute guest spot for free, come on down. So I did just to,
do jokes in New
Get
Orleans.
your foot in the
Yeah.
door.
And that was Wednesday wound up being my favorite. That was a great show. The host was wonderful. And then the guy who hosted on Sunday wound up headlining that Wednesday show. And so when I saw him headline, I was like, this guy's a monster. He's an absolute murderer. But the hosting, he was very different as a host as compared to the headliner. But everybody was just super welcoming. And they also, I meant to tell you both this off air, but they have a festival in November called the Hell Yes Fest, and I have been asked to submit to it.
Hell yeah.
So
Hell
I'm going to
yes.
tell Travis, I'm going to tell some other locals to submit to it, and then if a couple of us can get in, we could book a trip around that, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
fun.
awesome.
Because
That'd
it's
be very
just,
fun.
it's so fun down there. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been on vacation, and Michael did
I've
some
been
Nashville stuff.
I've been just I've not been in my house in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I had a work trip to Nashville, and I did a lot of comedy while I was in Nashville for like the amount of time I was in Nashville for 2 days, 3 days.
He didn't see any of our friends.
I tried. I did try. I messaged.
Rude.
I messaged Drew and Brett. Sorry, I kept like
No wonder they didn't.
blowing you up. I was blowing them up. Drew at one point was like, "Hey man, I sent you a spreadsheet with all the mics. Like you should check that." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I've tried to human interaction, you know." So anyway, but
So
I
you
think
burned some
So you're a
bridges.
clinger.
no, yeah, I was clinging. No, I had some questions. and
Corporal Klinger.
It was a lot. So, but I did go to Nashville, and then I was at the beach with my family the following week. Didn't do any comedy then. But I did 2 mics in Nashville. I did the East Room, which is the longest running open mic in Nashville, and
That's cool.
I don't have my phone on me because we're using it today to record because I can't remember this guy's name, but the guy who hosted it was super cool. Knows Sean, he was actually part of the Blue Ridge Comedy Festival.
Oh, cool.
As well. And I cannot think of his name for the life of me, but he was so
Really?
cool. And it was a bucket mic. And do you guys know what those are?
Yeah.
For the audience who doesn't, you put your name in a bucket, they draw it. And it's a 25 person lineup. Okay.
How many were in the bucket?
More than 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than 25.
Always.
Yeah, I don't know. Quite a few.
50 probably.
I'll tell you, whenever we got there, I went to like their little hang area, which was so cool. It was like behind it. 50 comics out there.
Yeah,
So, I mean, there were so many people.
Yeah.
So they do the drawing, all the people sign up, and I actually talked to him, and I was like, hey, man, I'm out of town. Like, do you think I could just hop on like at the end or something like that? And he was like super cool. He was like, yeah, if there's enough time, you can go on at the end. And so he put me on at the very end, which he didn't have to do, which was super cool.
That is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went 26th on a 25-person lineup to 4 people.
And you placed 26th.
I did not. And I don't feel bad about saying it. The guy who opened up the show really set the tone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was a pretty good. I will say it was there was a couple of duds throughout. Some people obviously working out some jokes, but there was some very, very funny local Nashville comics there. Belly Button that you talked about, he was on.
Yeah.
That's
So
where I saw
funny.
him.
Yeah.
He murdered that room.
Yeah, he just did a huge show at the lab at Zany's. Have you seen the new room they opened at Zany's? There's a new
Not
room.
yet.
He
Not
like
yet.
this past week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like shouting it out at the mic I was at but yeah, there was a couple duds like there always is. In an
Oh,
open mic.
yeah,
and
it's
there's
open mic.
26 fucking people, so
Yeah,
there's gonna be
20 bad ones.
There's gonna be a couple dots. There was one girl who got on that stage and just talked shit about every single person who went before her. Talked shit about everyone in the audience, and was like, "This is why I quit coming to this fucking mic," and then just left.
Whoa.
We're like, okay, what's
All right then.
happened? And I was with a guy. So like I said, it was a work trip. There's a guy on my team I brought with me, and he had never been to an open mic before, and he was like, "Is it always like this?" And I was like,
Sort of.
"Sometimes,
Yeah.
depends, you know."
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like Slice of Life over in Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they do their shows / open mics. So the way she does it is, like they will have their sign up and everything, and they will go through say 5 open micers, and then have their 3 features.
See, I think I do like that.
And then they'll have open micers after as well.
I think I do like that because it keeps, like, if the 5 bomb, you know, which is fine. It's an open mic. You're gonna not always do. We've all bombed at we all bombed on actual shows, but open mics we've all bombed at. You know, but yeah. So it was the East Room. It was great. I would 10 out of 10 recommend it if you are in Nashville, even if you just want to go see a
That's cool.
pretty cool show. And then I did another open mic. It was actually the first open mic comedy open mic this place had ever had. It was at Teddy's Tavern. It was not on Broadway, but it was right, like, I was on Broadway and I walked to, like, 20 feet to the bar. Like,
So you were just off Broadway.
Just off Broadway. I don't have the buttons on here. Anyway. But that one, there were things with that one that I talked about off mic, but I murdered in that room. There was like 40 people in there.
God, imagine how good we would have done, bro.
Yeah. Oh my! We would have gotten specials,
dude. I did 8 minutes. I did 8 angry
that was
minutes.
Bad disrespectful. That's
okay.
my bad.
It's okay. I disrespect you every week. It's
I
fine.
know. It's been 2 weeks since we've been in the studio. I got it all pent up over it.
He's been just every time. He's been thinking. I texted you while I texted Nathaniel because I got angry about something while I was there, and I got on that stage, pissed off, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking crush it, and
That's
I fucking
great.
crushed it.
Yeah,
it works.
I was so mad that I was like, I'm not. I was like, if I bomb, I'm gonna. It was like 3 floors up. I was like, if I bomb, I'm jumping out the window. You know. And I did good, so it was fun.
Getting pissed off works sometimes.
It does. It does. Like I've been on like shows where something's happened throughout the day or whatever, and I just come into that with that energy where I'm just like,
this thing happened.
You know,
the thing that made me mad happened after the show had started. So I was very.
Even better.
Oh yeah,
it was very fresh.
Even better.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Somebody, because I had some people with me, just some people that I kind of work with, and they're like, "Hey, you do comedy?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, "I'm going to an open mic." We were at this place on Broadway. They were just drinking, we're eating food and stuff. And I was like, "I'm actually going at like 7 or whenever it started, 7 or 7:30." And they're like, "Oh, we'll go with you." And I was like, "All right." Cool.
That makes me nervous. I don't like that.
I don't care.
I don't like
it. That doesn't bother me.
I don't care. I told him ahead of time because, you know, I keep it pretty PG-13 in my professional life.
Yeah.
And I was like, my act is not.
Well, it's not
PG-13,
particularly dirty.
so
Either. Like of the comics to see, you're
Right.
It's political at times.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, you know, when like people from my work or you know. Like even, you know, family members and stuff like that, first time they've seen me, and it's like, oh, wow, you do talk about everything.
Yeah. I think the only 2 jokes that I'm just like, I don't post these 2 jokes is because, like, I don't want the wrong people, like, in my professional world seeing it. Is the joke I have about dick pics. And then, because I did do that joke again, pissed off.
Yeah, and if you
can
quit sending me those too, it's not a joke
anymore. And then I have the old abortion joke I've been doing forever, but I have a new one. Shout out Joe Bridges that fucking murdered at that open mic because he helped me with the punchline on it.
Joe's cool.
And so it's like those are I'm just kind of like you know, like I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a good joke.
You mentioned the getting pissed off thing too, like how it helps. Have you? This is kind of a deep cut, but did either of you watch that Chicago Bulls documentary about Jordan? It's The Last Dance or whatever.
Yeah, I watched most of it. I don't think I finished it.
It's great. It's great. There's a scene in it where they're talking to Jordan. They're like interviewing him and cutting to other people talking about the situation. But apparently he was on a plane once headed to a game, and the other team was on the plane for some reason. And so this dude just disrespects him. Yeah, this dude just disrespects him basically, or he took it as disrespect, and so he's like, "I'm gonna drop 70 on your ass," and then he did. He goes in and just dropped 70, and then after the game, they interviewed Jordan. And he's like, "Yeah, I made the whole thing up. That never happened." He's like, "I just had to create that in my head so that I could be mad at him." So that I could drop 70 points on his ass.
Dude, it's a good.
I literally just made that up to get mad at him for no reason.
Oh my God.
It's a good motivator, dude.
That's a psychopath.
Yeah.
It's a good.
He's another level, dude. Yeah.
Have you seen? Speaking of like that, have you seen that thing where it was the Olympics where Kobe Bryant? I don't remember the teammate. It was his teammate who was playing for like Spain or something, where he just like runs through him. He's like, "Man, we're fucking teammates." He's like, "Not today, we're not." Like,
Yeah.
And I was yeah.
That's another kind of mindset.
That's Earnhardt right there.
Yeah.
That's old number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cool part about like those mindset things is seeing how everybody handles it differently. Like last night's a perfect example. I felt like all 4 of us had a very different attitude going in.
Yeah.
But it was a great show.
It was.
Yeah,
man.
don't tell.
Like it was okay.
So first off, where was it? I don't even know. I know it was in Johnson City. Where was it? In Johnson
Back
City?
at the terrarium plant store. Our very first
hell
venue.
yeah.
So last night was the 7-year anniversary of Don't Tell
Hell
as a network. Is also our 7th show for me. So it was like, let's take it back to where we started, kind of, because they were like, if you have any special venues to celebrate the 7 years thing, go there. And I was like, well, let's just go back because they're wonderful. The people that run it are amazing and stuff, and they've been really good to us. I don't know if you interacted with them very much.
No,
it's like 50, right?
It's always just been you and Justin. So
yeah, they're the people who run the plant store there. They're just a bunch of kids, really, and then their mom actually owns it, and she's awesome.
I've met her,
but it was great. She's wonderful. Everybody's great. Pruett opened up the show, which he went second on our last one after Jordan B. So on this one, I threw him up first. And I wanted the crowd to just break open. And honestly, even when I was hosting, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good crowd.
Yeah.
They were laughing at stuff like dumb stuff.
Yeah, poop jokes.
Yeah, at one point I told them stupid poop joke. And they laughed. And I was like, it's all uphill from here. It's going to be good. Yeah.
That's all your comedy is poop jokes, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. He's real lazy,
No, they were great. And so then Pruett goes up and does great. And I got the chance to watch our headliner watch Pruett, which was awesome, to stand in the back and see Drew hear Pruett for the first time. He had never seen him before, so that was awesome.
Who all was on the show?
It was me, Travis Stevenson, Hunter Roberts, and Drew Morning.
That's
damn. Yeah.
Great. It was also just, I've been doing it with that amount of people too, because that gives us a little wiggle room. So like Hunter went a couple minutes over, ran a couple seconds over, Travis, but we're not in the rush. Like
not a professional going over.
Well, no, with that amount of people, I just tell them like do 10, but if you go, nobody cares. Yeah. Like it's going to be an hour-long show.
Yeah, if you're doing 12 and you're crushing,
Yeah, and Drew was great. I thought Drew was great.
How long did he do?
Well, he's supposed to do 20, and he did. He said light him at 20, so I did. And then at about 21, he was like, you know what? I have like 3 or 4 more. The crowd was so good. He was like, do you mind if I just try some shit that's brand new? It's probably going to bomb.
Yeah.
And he did 2, I think, new jokes, probably another 3 or 4 minutes. And the second one got a pretty significant pop. So he's like, I'm just going to cut it there. I'm going to just consider that good enough.
Yeah, leaving with a win.
Yeah.
But
Hunter, Hunter went right before Drew. And I think Hunter may have stole the show.
The level of energy that Hunter Roberts brings. And plus just, God.
It's tough to follow Hunter.
It is. I would never
That's
want
why
to.
I put him there.
Yeah.
That's why I put him there.
But like, I was telling Travis, like while Hunter was doing this set, I was like, I have heard this. I can't count how many times, and every single time
he did the monkey joke.
Oh yeah,
dude. When he started,
I love it.
We were all standing backstage.
That's one of my favorite jokes.
There was 3 guys at the very back of the room. He starts that bit. We all know how it starts, and we're all just like.
Yeah, he literally goes, explain to me why people keep putting their kids in car commercials. And you saw me, Pruett, and Travis at the same time go, yes.
Dude, that is like
we're going to get it.
That is a 10 out of 10 joke.
That's one of the best ever.
And
when he fully go, I mean, there was no holding back.
His blood pressure was up, face red.
He's red,
yeah.
He's as red as you can possibly be.
He looked like the angry emotion from Inside Out, just like when the fire shoots out of his head, he was going.
And just everything, and then the way he ends it with like, And that's the dumbest joke I've ever written. And I was like,
Yeah, and it crushed. Yeah.
you know, and you
Yeah.
know, all there 3 of us are in the back having seizures, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
He's having a stroke on stage.
Yeah.
You guys are,
Having a stroke in the back.
And
God.
just like to see everybody react to it and everything.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
his whole set.
His whole
It's just
set is-
fantastic. You know?
That monkey joke, like
Mm-hmm.
every time. So on I-26, there is a Kia.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
you know what?
Yep.
There's a billboard. I see it every day that I drive through there, and every time I'm not going to give away like the punchline.
Yeah.
But I always just
You go straight to
in my head.
Yeah.
I car key. You know.
yeah.
Well, with him too, we've had him on the show also on the live episode, but we've mentioned Hunter a billion times, and what people always say is his energy, his yelling, his cadence, his volume, all those things. But it's important to note he doesn't start out that way.
No,
he doesn't just start screaming.
no.
It's this slow buildup, and then
Yeah.
by the end,
Yeah.
it's just
It's an act.
nonstop.
It's a very good act.
Yeah.
You know.
At
Yeah.
10 minutes, he is unbeatable. I think
Oh,
at
God.
10 minutes, good luck finding the better
And
team.
like I've seen him headline.
Yeah.
I have too.
So I've seen him build it up, bring it down, build it up,
Right.
bring it down, build it up, build it up, build it up, boom,
Crescendo,
you know,
yeah.
and then you know, just be like, all right, I'm Hunter, thank you, and you know, and he can do it so well. I mean, like to see him headline is just. It's a masterclass.
It really
it's
is,
a masterclass on key, like
Right.
you know, because like you said, he doesn't start with this crazy level of energy. He brings it back up. You know, it builds and builds and builds
Yeah.
and builds. And on a 10-minute set, it's build up quick, boom.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like when he's headlining, his timing, man, like
It's crazy.
I love watching him just to get the nuances of timing and how to bring an audience up, bring them down. You know, just the control he has of an audience.
Yeah.
It's
At
insane.
10 minutes, though, there's no down.
No.
There's no down. It's straight up. It's a slow pace, and then it's to the moon.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
last
it's a
3
rocket ship.
minutes is the crowd does not stop laughing for 3 minutes, and he is screaming over them to
Yeah.
fit the jokes in. I even said last night, I was like, I don't even know how he remembers all of these words.
No,
in
he
this
told
rant.
us on the live app that it is like every word of that is scripted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us,
Yeah.
any of our jokes, none of my jokes are. What the fuck is
Are
crawling
that
on
tight?
me?
Uh-oh.
Sorry. No, we're good.
We
I
got a
think,
little friend.
I think we're good. Sorry. Sorry,
There's a
audience.
ghost.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry.
Hunter.
I just had a moment. Felt
That's
some
why I'm wearing boots and overalls.
tickle my leg hair, and I was like,
Michael's
"What is
having a
happening?"
stroke. Yeah.
No, I drank way too much caffeine. I'm feeling the jitters from
Hell yeah.
this.
No, so
thing.
the coolest part, I think, of Hunter's set was seeing Drew Morgan watch him also, much like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
because him and Drew are actually old friends from a long time ago, from what I gathered, and I don't think Drew has worked with him or seen him in quite a while.
Yeah.
So to see him, and there was a similar thing when I had Hunter on 2 shows ago with Lee Kimbrell. Hunter had connected with him through Cincinnati like 10 years ago when Hunter had just started and was still drinking and was very different on stage. And Lee came up to me afterwards and was like, what the hell happened to Hunter Roberts? Like, what?
Yeah.
Where did this come
He
from?
quit
And
drinking.
Lee was like, this is bananas. This person that I'm seeing. So both people that knew him then and now have seen him in this like full blossom, and just they love him. Everybody loves him.
Oh, yeah.
I did a show with Hunter at Alley Ray's one time, and he headlined, did 45, 50 minutes, something like that. And it was one of those Alley Ray shows that just wasn't like a great audience. You know, some of them
Yeah.
are kind of duds. Although I would say more often than not, it's actually a very good audience. But
Yeah.
every so, like we did that one with your dad, not Pruett,
McCaffrey.
Andrew
Yeah.
McCaffrey. We
My
did,
other dad.
very progressive dads in
Yeah.
the comedy scene.
The one that doesn't pay child support.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
And you remember that audience? I mean, it was like that. Just nobody could win that crowd.
Well,
Yeah.
certainly not Andrew. That's,
But I did one. I did one time with Hunter Roberts, and it was like the most like none of us bombed.
yeah.
But none of us were clipping out that set. You know what I mean? It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And then Hunter Roberts gets on stage, and for 50 minutes,
slaughters.
The room was like,
Do you know how many times I've heard that exact story of like, yeah, everybody was bombing and then Hunter Roberts? I've heard that.
Yeah.
The words "and then Hunter Roberts" have been sent to me thousands of times.
listen, I don't think it happens, but I would love to see a Hunter Roberts bomb. I would love to see what that looks like.
never
I don't
seen
even
it.
think it's possible.
never
Like,
seen
that energy, I don't think it's possible to bomb with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, with that.
He's gonna get them,
Yeah,
regardless, because his jokes are good. Like, it's just they're through and through. They're
Yeah.
funny jokes. Funny. His Fast and Furious joke too is
Oh yeah, it's good.
is a fucking killer as well. Anyway,
He's great. But no, so
yeah.
last night at the Don't Tell, we got to see Drew Morgan also.
Yeah,
and
and I'm
he's-
like it was everything. I'll be honest. I was like fanboying a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because,
You were. I've never seen you like that.
Yeah, I mean, like
you're like, can you sign my shirt?
No, I
didn't do that.
Like I didn't ask for an autograph or a picture or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I just, he's one of those comics that like our material, I guess, is a little bit similar. So
Yeah.
like, and plus, like he's done the traveling, he's done the grinding and everything. Still is,
Still is, yeah.
And so it's like, I wanted to like get in his ear a little bit and just like to see how life is,
Yeah.
but it was more like, all right, I'll leave him.
Yeah.
don't-
I
you
did
know.
watch him introduce himself to you, and that was funny to see you just be like, hi. Like, you just, like, you
Yeah,
didn't really know what
yeah,
to,
yeah.
Hi, I'm Pruett.
Yeah. No, I did.
Hi.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm Drew." I was like, "Hey, how's it going? So nice to meet you finally." And he was like, "And your name?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
Pruett. I'm John Pruett."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to
very
see
funny.
that. That's very funny.
It was
yeah.
fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Well, I normally
fucking
watch people
embarrassing.
interact with you like that, so it was cool to see the reversal where you're like, "Hi, I like your stuff." Like, and I'm sure there's somebody that Drew would meet where he would be like, "Hi," like there's levels to it, and it's so cool to see
Yeah.
somebody like Drew, and also we should say very nice dude. And no, I didn't
Incredibly
have
nice,
any. Sometimes headliners know they're the shit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but like they come in with that aura about them of like either
Come in with that energy.
don't talk to me or like I'm better than this. None
Yeah.
of that. Dude showed up, shook my hand, was like, "What we doing?" And then just went on, destroyed, and was like, "Good night," and just left. I mean, it was very simple.
And if you need to cut this, you can cut this or whatever. But like, I think his car keeps him humble.
Oh yeah, Pruett had to help him with some car trouble afterwards too, so he got to schmooze a little extra, which was nice.
No, it was like, hold the flashlight. Here's all these wires. Like it was funny. He said he asked me. He was like, "So do you actually know anything about cars, or is this like for the stage? Is this a get up?" And I was like, "I know cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know some things of cars.
that's funny that he was
I've
like,
had
"Are
a
you
car
a
break.
character
I've had a
comic?"
car or two break down.
Yeah.
Thank God you weren't a character comic. He would have been stuck.
Oh yeah, he would have been.
If that was just for stage, because
Yeah.
I'm not fixing his car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You look like you could fix a car though.
I could no.
Yeah.
I can put gas in.
You
it.
look like it.
Yeah, I'm just
But
saying you
you
look like it.
can't.
I
Yeah.
can't. That which is worse, I think.
Yeah.
What you want is someone who doesn't look like it but can. That's what you, the opposite of me.
I can change a tire, and that's where my expertise stops.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I did a show the night after we recorded last for Grampy. The
Oh, yeah.
6th, and you were supposed. Yeah, you.
I
you
was
were
supposed to be on that.
too.
Got
And
the
you
flu.
were dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was the
was-
day.
yeah.
That's when Pruett died.
Joe Bridges hopped on, took his
Good,
spot,
good.
and Joe Bridges murdered that
course he
room.
Of course he did.
So it was a good show. It was
I'm-
fun little venue.
I really want to get back to that venue.
Yeah.
Like I felt really bad. I never cancel shows.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
like-
flew. I
Yeah,
appreciate you canceling. As
yeah,
being
I mean,
somebody
that-
on the show, I do
Yeah.
appreciate you
Yeah,
canceling.
it was weird. I had a little tickle in my throat on like Tuesday, and I was like, yeah, that's okay.
Isn't he your dad? You fucking weirdo.
He
Anyway.
said
Yeah.
little. I had to.
But like, I was like, And when I had COVID back in like 2021,
Yeah.
that's how it started. Was this weird little tickle in my throat,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Dude.
So I immediately went and bought a COVID test, tested negative, and then I felt pretty decent Wednesday. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just sinuses or something like that. And then Wednesday night, I was like, I don't feel good. Thursday, I'm like, I do not feel good.
Yeah.
Friday, I was able to finish work, but I barely made it to the house, and I was like, I'm gonna die,
dude.
Like
yeah.
And then so like Friday and Saturday, I had like 101, 102 fever, all day, you know. Saturday, and then Sunday my fever broke, and I was like, oh yeah. And you know, the rest of it was just like, you know, chug Gatorade and you know,
cry.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Yeah, chug Gatorade and you know, catch up on everything on Netflix. I think I watched something from like, you know, like Thailand like 3 times.
Dude, did you see anything good?
No, I don't know.
You don't even remember?
No. I mean, like, I was in and out of it. Like,
I've been watching World War II documentaries. Like,
yeah,
you are,
style,
God, you are such an old white
I'm
man.
turning there. I'm telling. I went to the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. I was there for 5 hours. Yeah. And he was like, "Can we go?" And I was
he spent a lot of time in the Nazi section.
It's like, no, this is my place.
I had the flu. I had the flu last November. And very similar, minus being able to watch anything, because for 5 days I could not get out of my bed. I was dead to the world, dude.
Well, see, I have a TV in the bedroom.
I mean, I do too, but like, it was...
Because I'm not poor.
Okay.
Makes one of us.
No, I like, for 5 days was in that bed, just like asleep, like sweating. Like, I could not do a thing. And then like, as soon as I got better, Kayla got the flu.
Yeah.
And then Olivia, she gave it to me. Then I gave it to Kayla.
That
it was
nice
a whole
of her.
thing.
Yeah, that's
the COVID joke, the blanket COVID joke.
Yeah,
worked.
You figured it
nice.
out.
I made it work.
Yeah,
it's about time.
Made it fucking
Jinx.
work. Anyway, sorry. Happy.
But yeah, I mean, it sucks hard, like having to cancel a show, especially when you know, like that's the first time Grampy had tried to book me. That was the first time at that venue, and I was like, man, I really want to go there. I want to do good, and plus it's right down the road. It's perfect.
It's cool. It's a cool venue. Maps doesn't take you there. Maps takes you to an apartment. So that was fun. I was almost late to the show.
Well, he's got another one coming up with you. July.
Yeah.
No, one too, I think.
So the lineup was cool. I opened. Grampy hosted. He did about 10 up top, and then I did about 10. Then it's Phil Taylor, and me and Phil Taylor had mic issues, which was not fun, and it messed up one of my punchlines. It messed up one of Phil's.
Was it Grampy's mic or the venues?
It was Grampy's mic.
Yeah, his mic is rough.
But we got it fixed.
A wireless or something.
It's a wireless, and I've never. So the mic issue was my fault, and I know it was Phil's fault too, because what it was it has like an on-off button on it.
Yeah,
and the way I hold the
mic.
mic. No, it was a button. It wasn't a slide. Because a slide I wouldn't have done accidentally, but I pressed the button accidentally. And so like I was doing the OJ joke actually. The OJ joke did not go well because like I halfway through the punchline I fucking pressed the button and then I had to like redo it.
It is pretty funny that your subconscious was like, let's save him from this and just like cut the mic off. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no. You know what pissed me off? I have this bit about prostate cancer now. I have this bit about prostate cancer that I told the other day because with the OJ joke because how he died and everything.
Dead ass?
Dead ass, yeah. And they just went like, and I'm like, let's not act like he was a good guy, guys. Like, let's not act like he was fine.
No.
But no, so it was me, Phil.
He's a real goofball.
Me, Phil, and I think Johnny Caucasian was next. And then it was Joe Bridges.
Boy, are you out of place
and
on
then
that line.
Lance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chasey B, and then Lance.
I didn't know
Chasey
Lance
B
was
and
on
Lance.
that one, so that's
Lance
cool.
got hopped on. I think Lance was like a last minute ad, and then Joe was
we love Lance.
Day of ad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Lance's impressions?
Did you listen to the episode of Lance? Maybe my favorite episode of this entire fucking show.
I didn't even know he did impressions, but when he was in here, I was like, dance, monkey, dance. Like, I just kept saying, do it. Yeah.
Honest to God, and I've enjoyed almost every single episode we've done, but that episode with Lance, I think I've laughed the hardest.
Name the ones you didn't enjoy. How about
where it's just the two of you.
The last one was fun, actually.
Last one was fun.
We should only do it every so often. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think
we have enough built up.
When we did at one point we did 2 in a row. The first 2 were just us, which did fine because they didn't know, and then like the next time we did it was just us.
We didn't even release it. It never.
Really?
There's one that we never released.
There's one in a vault. Oh
Yeah,
wow!
I've probably
You've
already
got a vaulted episode already.
I've probably already deleted that episode. Honestly, yeah, I forgot that we did that.
That was 45 minutes of. Oh, I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, it was
fucking.
Wow.
We Nathaniel wasn't even like he'd left. He wasn't home yet. He was like, I don't think we should release that one. I was
I
like,
literally
I don't
said I'd rather
think
not
we-
post an episode this week than put that out to the world. It was bad.
Yeah, we've only missed 2 weeks since we started this podcast, and
That
one
was
of them was last week, and that was we just timing of everything. It just was vacations. Just like fuck it, we just cannot do it. And then there was one random week, somewhere in there, and just know we had an episode recorded. We didn't.
rough.
It wasn't that we didn't record. It was.
It was just that bad.
It
was
was
that
rough.
Yeah. It's pretty bad when we can't even talk for 50 minutes
Yeah.
and make
Yeah.
it somewhat
Fucking-
interesting.
We are paid comedians, and
That
we
was
could
bad.
not talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Bro, do you have anything coming up, like any big shows that you're excited about right now?
So July is going to be a little bit slow, I think.
I couldn't remember. Do you have anything coming up with Mo? Did he send you dates and stuff?
No. Like between like what with the traveling he's doing and my work schedule, it's not going to be feasible until like next year to really be moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But like I'm excited about that, but like that's going to be down the road a little
Sure.
bit.
While you're looking up your dates, I do want to say one thing about Blue Ridge.
That they will be open soon.
That will be.
hopefully.
Did you see the video they posted yesterday?
I didn't get
The
to
green
watch
room?
it, but I saw it.
It was showing the bathrooms, but it looked like he was showing off the green room.
That's not the green room.
Was that not the green room?
No, that's that's for like the staff. The green room is right off the side
I heard there's
stage.
2 green rooms now.
There, maybe. I mean, like
That's what Sean told me. There's 2.
one for like if you're on deck,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the one close to
And
the
then the
stage, and
hang.
then the one where you hang out. And
Yeah.
I thought the one they showed was like the hangout one.
It
Like,
could be.
it might have been.
It also
Yeah.
may be multi-purpose room. I'm not sure. Like
Yeah,
kind of
I
like the
don't know.
supply room is at the old State Street.
Dude, I
no,
fucking
so there's
miss Blue Ridge.
a.
I miss that club
Yeah, we
right
miss
now.
it too. Let's tell Sean on air.
Yeah. Hey,
No,
Sean.
We all miss it, but it's coming soon. I think I saw a flyer for. It's not a comedy event, I don't think, but it's August 1st. They're doing something at the new location. So no later than August 1st.
That's just
the
a
doors will be open.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
less than a month after this is
Yeah.
released.
But I would honestly say sometime before. Every time I've asked Sean, he said they're shooting for July as far as a comedy show.
Yeah,
Well, Sean, it's July, so
Yeah.
that's today.
Yeah.
But so the only big thing that I've got for July is a show. It's like a combination retirement party show concert, and I've luckily gotten onto it. And it's going to be pretty big. It's in Charlotte.
it's like a private event, or
It's a private event, but it's going to be, from the look of it, around 250 people. So
That's awesome.
Hey.
How did you get connected with that? Is it somebody you know?
yeah, it's a guy I was in the Army with. It's his retirement party,
Oh, hell yeah.
and
That's
so
really cool.
like it's his retirement party, but it's also like a fundraiser, and it's a pretty good size event.
yeah.
So
It sounds like a block party almost. Like
yeah,
a huge,
yeah.
That's awesome.
So like it's going to be, from the look of it, like a couple of bands.
Wow.
Good size venue.
Are you the
So,
only comic? Do you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Because even if it doesn't go
As
well,
far as I think he's probably going to do a set. He's been doing comedy for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to that. And then the 27th, I was able to finesse my way into some tickets for Old Gods of Appalachia, and they're going to be doing their show in Bristol. So
That's awesome.
I'm just psyched to be able to go see that like finally to see them live. July is going to be pretty slow, but August is going to be a little bit nuts.
I think that's how. Like, I feel like comedy's
Everybody,
really
yeah.
just
September's already looking
Yeah.
preposterous. for me, too.
So August is Mac and I are going to be doing a little trip down to Florida,
awesome.
doing a couple of shows down there.
That's awesome.
And then, from what I understand, then later in August, I think it's the 23rd and 24th, I might be featuring for like one of my heroes at the club.
At Blue Ridge?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
So,
that'd be awesome. And I know who it is, and that's great.
I don't.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's
you'll
fantastic.
have to wait.
Yeah, you'll see.
I mean, I could look up on the website.
You'll see. It's probably not posted yet.
I don't think it's posted yet.
But that'll be at the new location also,
Yes.
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that'll be
Yeah.
one of the first few weekends there.
Yeah,
too.
and so I'm really hoping that we can, pump the numbers up and everything for that show especially.
Will that be a 50-seat
I have no
capacity?
idea. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I know at one point Sean had said the first round of shows was going to be a 50-person capacity just till they could, sell
Well,
out 50 and get the wheels turning.
because they've got to, now that they have the food part
Right.
of it, different bar staff,
Yep.
that or additional bar staff, and
Yeah.
they're going to have servers and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. They're going to have to get their rhythm down,
Yeah.
before it's
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, guess what? 150,
hard.
200 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 200 seat. It like has the capacity for like 200 people, doesn't it?
At full, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a while before they reach there. I think he's going to build it in sets of 50, like move it up,
Yeah, yeah.
50
That's
at a time.
cool.
So just so that the staff, like you said, can learn into drink service and stuff. And he's also figuring it out as they go a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like, that's why Joe Rogan took everybody
From the store.
from the store
Yeah.
and was like, hey, I'm going to pay you better. Come
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like, their check drop. I think we've talked about this before,
I
but
hope
like
to God Sean doesn't.
their check drop is unnoticeable.
Yeah.
I like how we do it at Blue Ridge where it's like, all right, end of the night, now everybody pays up.
Yeah. me
Close
too.
out, yeah.
Me too.
That way you're
I think
not,
Sean has mentioned, and I don't know. I don't feel like they're doing a check drop.
We brought it up to him. Everybody's
Yeah.
brought it up.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing
that I was gonna say that's the biggest concern, but that's everybody's biggest concern except Skyler, and he wants a ramp. He's been he's been protesting for a ramp. He even brought it up on the live episode, and Sean
Sure
was
did.
like, "We're getting a fucking ramp, Skyler. We're getting
I-
a ramp."
if he really had a good sense of humor, he would say "fuck your ramp"
Just
and
make him
get
keep doing it.
him one of those damn yodelay 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 seats,
Like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
An
and be
acorn
like,
stair lift.
yeah. And
His
just be
time,
like-
his time starts when he sits in it. So
Yep.
he has to have the mic
Yeah.
and just do jokes as he's going up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would
the
be
old
funny.
acorn stair lift.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be cool.
I am
Yeah.
excited. I'm super excited for the
Yeah.
new club.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of new open mics in our area that I've
Yes.
not tried any of the new ones
Tonight.
tonight.
Yep,
Yeah.
tonight in
There it is.
Bristol.
Well, we record on Sunday.
Yeah,
not
Sunday
Monday.
nights.
Yeah, or not Friday. tonight.
So I mean, there is pretty much there's the opportunity to do an open mic every single
There's
night.
one on Mondays in Elizabethton that
Yep.
Grace does
Yep.
now.
Oh, that's Monday. Got it.
Yep,
I was
that's
missing
Monday.
yeah.
And
Tuesdays
then-
is Johnson City at the
Little
former Rum
Magic.
Bar.
Little
Magic. Then
Wednesday will be
Wednesdays.
Blue Ridge when it's back.
Yep, and then Thursday at Cascades.
I think it's postponed temporarily.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. As of yesterday, I think Travis said it's postponed until the fall.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
yes, it's still there. It's
Yeah.
just on a hiatus right now.
Nobody
And
does
then-
open mics on Fridays or Saturdays, and
Nope. And then Sundays is Meredith's in Bristol. So
That's an Axe and Ale also. And it's fun.
Yep.
I've done
Accent
it
Ale's fun.
3 or 4 times.
and
Yeah.
also
EJ's great.
like depending on where you are or whatever, they have some open mics in Asheville
Yeah.
that are fun. I just can't go to them because of my work schedule.
Yeah.
Um,
Knoxville's the same too. They got
Yeah.
quite
yeah,
a few.
yeah, Knoxville's
Knoxville,
a bunch.
yeah.
I mean, like it. I like where we are because you go an hour and a half, and you're in a very, very different scene
Absolutely.
both ways.
Yeah. You know what's really
It's
great?
just
When I
tough,
was
though.
in New Orleans, there's 4 a night. There's 4 mics every night.
Oh yeah,
Some nights there's even more.
Dude.
Some nights there's a few less, but there's multiple mics every night.
Nashville was like 4 a night.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
It was like I could have done that first night I was there where I was 26th on the 25th. Yeah, I could have done a second one that started right after it, but like I had driven 5 hours and it was already so I didn't. But like I could have went and done another
oh
one.
yeah.
And then the same thing with the other one I did. There was one like I had to get in my car and drive to it, but like I could have went and done another one.
That was my most favorite thing about being in Austin was being able to hit like 3 to 5 open mics a day.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really
and
crazy.
I was just like, God dang.
What's really funny is my friend that I made down there, David. He's works the door at the comedy club down there. He's also a very funny comic. But he asked me like, how many nights a week do you have mics? And I was like, well, if you're really moving, you can do several, like 7 days a week, pretty much. If you're traveling around, and he was like, what kind of radius? And I was like, all within like 2 hours of Bristol, you can drive. And he was like, if I had to drive 2 hours to do an open mic, I never would have done comedy. He's like, I really admire people who do it like you do, where you'll drive an hour and a half for 5 minutes. And I was like, that's just the norm. I know no better. That's literally since day one. Yeah, and he was like, I drive 15 minutes to come here where I work at a comedy club, and if I live 20 minutes away, I might not come. It's like it's so different.
Dude, it is crazy. Like, aside from the one in Johnson City, which was not there for a long time, because it shut down. Yeah, the closest one to me was Blue Ridge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the longest. Well, there was that one in Kingsport for a while that I never went to, but because I couldn't do it on Mondays.
Oh, at the Market Street.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't do that one because I had stuff happen every Monday. But like, for the closest one to me is a 45-minute drive.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back to the open mic schedule.
I think that was a good talk. Fuck off.
Where we just talk about local open mics. Yeah. No, what I'm curious about, Pruett, is there anything? I mean, it's been a while since you've been on for the last Pruett Chronicles. So since then, I mean, the first time you were on, I think I'm trying to remember, you had just started
just come back
hiatus or just come back, and then the second time you had just opened for Mo Alexander and flew out to Memphis, and then you've been on one since then, I think.
And you talked about Mark Norman
the whole time. And I talked about Mark Norman the whole time, so that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this episode. So this
talk
time...
about Drew Morgan for the rest of it. It's Pruett,
phenomenal. All right, so Drew Morgan, phenomenal. Actually, he is, but,
he really is.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, now that I'm doing this more, it's, trying to remember, post all of this on social media, do this, try to, one of the things I'm working on is trying to find the stuff I can throw away by putting it on, TikTok or Reels or whatever. Right. Yeah. So like, a lot of people are doing crowd work, and that's how they have that video. They've got that content, I suck at crowd work. I don't like doing crowd work, and I'm pretty shitty at it. So I'm trying to do things where, like, they're quote unquote throwaway jokes. And so, and making sure I get them recorded and all of that, and then making sure to actually post the shit instead of keeping it on my phone and not doing anything with it. It's funny now to like, when you get to a certain point and you're like, I've really got to quote unquote expand my brand, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's where it starts to go from your hobby to your
career.
When
it became, and like, that was one of the things I've always been terrified of, and I'm nowhere near it.
I remember us having that talk in Asheville.
Yeah, I mean, like
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Where you were like, I don't know if I want to push this thing any further because I'll lose the love for it. It becomes like a job.
Yeah. If my bills became dependent on how well my jokes do at a brewery or something, the stress would kill me in a heartbeat, you know?
It's a lot.
So too much stress around something that you're supposed to love.
Yeah. And so like I've always told my kids, like, hey, do something you like for a job.
Right.
Do something you love for free. And then don't worry about it. Yeah. Because like, once I don't know if I would love it if my mortgage depended on it,
Right. It replaces a lot of the love with like dependency, like you said.
With stress.
With stress, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's all of us, I'm sure that's our dream at some way, shape, or form, is to like, hey, I want to be able to sell out a theater or whatever, and I would love to do that at some point. I would love to. Getting that level, I mean, like, to see people like, Ashley Gavin, Drew, Mark Norman, like, and even being not in the same circle, but like the orbit next to that, I'm like,
Yeah.
That's stressful. That's
Yeah.
so stressful.
You definitely see another side of it, especially when you get to be around that person off stage, like outside of the show and stuff. You really see that, like Drew, for example, last night, as I was leaving, I had to pack up all the Don't Tell equipment and stuff, so I'm parked out front in like a loading zone. As I'm leaving, I'm going through downtown Johnson City, headed home, and I see Drew walking to his car as he's leaving, and I watch him pull out his phone and call, I'm assuming his wife, and can't even hear the conversation, but just from the I do that every night after a show too. I call Haley, and it's just like, here's how it went. And I saw that, and I went, oh, that's hilarious, because in my head he's Superman, but then here he is just on the phone, just like the fucking rest of us. And the difference is he's been doing that phone call for decades,
20 years,
however long now, but over 10 for sure. And different. He's been in LA for a while. He's back here now. All these different things, and just seeing that little piece of him is what makes you go, "Oh yeah, it never changes" in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
which can be exhausting. Also, as much as it is exciting and comforting, it can be exhausting. That it's like anything, man. I think we have this idea that like once whatever your objective is, like you said, oh, once I sell out a theater, everything changes. No, it doesn't.
No,
you just sell out a theater.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's also that, and to see him be, I put my pants on just like you do, but like it's, I think a lot of it is with these really big comics, like Joe Coy and Tom and Bert and Joe and all those, they have their podcasts and everything, and they're talking about like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it's like, oh my God, they're living this really weird life.
Right.
Buying each other jet skis and shit like that. And it's just, I'm like.
And Hitler's teacups.
Yeah, and Hitler's teacups. And, and
I do not understand that one, but I imagine it was something Joe Rogan did.
Close. Tom and Bert got in this gift battle for a while where they were buying each other more expensive gifts as a joke. And Bert bought Tom a jet ski, and then the following, like the payback gift was a teacup, and he had him unwrap it, and then after he was already holding it on video, he told him that was Hitler's teacup. And he spent like an exorbitant amount of money. It was very funny.
Crazy.
That's a different life.
And it's a different life, but then like, you also look at the thing that like really gets me is if you blow up and everything goes great, you're by yourself way more than you're not.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Drew driving back to Knoxville.
Yep.
Right after the show.
An hour drive by himself.
Hour plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by himself just to get home. And be with his family.
There's like that middle area of like comedy where like, the starting to middle area, like starting like where me and Nathaniel are, you're obviously ahead of us, Nathaniel's at the back, and then there's me, but where,
so wrong.
Yeah. Where it's like, we travel to all these open mics, we do get on shows and stuff like that. And then a lot of times you are just by yourself doing it. And then that middle ground where you're really traveling is probably when like the loneliest.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not like, because Nathaniel and I have driven to Alley Race together 1,000 times. Yeah. Right? We've driven to Knoxville together 1,000 times. Yeah. Because like we're on the same show, we're in the same area. But like whenever, Pruett, you're a headliner, but you're not the headliner who's bringing your openers yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
The
so you're
early
driving.
Headliner days, the feature days are
very lonely.
The feature, because you're
5-6 hour drive by yourself.
Yeah. And then you turn around and maybe you get a hotel room.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then you're by yourself in your hotel room.
Exactly.
And it's when you're at the level we're at right now.
Yeah.
I love this because it's a good hang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're still trying to do give the best product that we can give.
Yeah.
But it's still like I love hanging out with you and Travis and
right.
Like
like last night, just standing outside afterwards.
Yeah.
With you, Travis, Hunter, and Drew, and then Joe came out to the show as well, and Peyton wound up being there for another show. Like you just see other comics and you're like, that's great.
Yes.
It is so fucking cool seeing like comedians in the wild.
In the wild, yeah.
You know, it's just- I
Especially because
love
the
it.
Wallace had another show going on last night too. So like after the show, we both walk out onto the sidewalk and we're like 2 doors down. So then there's just kind of this big group that forms of
Yeah.
different comics and shit. And you hear all the big names you mentioned too say that like when you're featuring, that's where you want to be. Like the headliner group is so lonely because a lot of times your day doesn't even start until 7 p.m.
Yep.
So until then, you're just in some fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
with nothing to do
Yeah.
for 12 hours. Locked in a hotel room.
Go to the Walmart just
Yeah.
to get human interaction, you know?
Yeah.
Another excuse me, another hero I've got is Matt Bronger. I don't know if you've been familiar with this stuff, but he says it. He's been doing it a hot minute.
Yeah.
And he's got a family now and everything, and he's on the road and by himself and in hotels and all that. And I mean, like it seems glamorous and fun, but at the same time, it's not.
It's glamorous that hour you're on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, or that 12 minutes, or
Oh, yeah.
20 or
I'm
whatever.
I'm assuming you're headlining.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but if you're headlining, you're doing that hour plus, and then there's always some kind of hang.
Yeah.
After that,
Here's the scary part about me: that loneliness by yourself, all of that is more appealing to me than the camaraderie and the hang. I think. Just because the way I grew up, I think I
get it.
I was not about to say anything bad at all. I mean, but
No,
like
I know what
you're
you're
not
saying.
wrong.
no,
I spent most of my childhood alone.
I
Most-
think,
or with grandparents, and so
Right.
basically alone. Like,
yeah.
I lived out of a van for 6 weeks by myself, and never once did I go, God, I'm so lonely. I swear
But-
to God, not one time. Not
But
one time.
I think like for what Pruett is saying, for like, okay, let's say in a couple years, like you're in like my boat, married, mortgage, kid, right? Like,
Never. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
anyway, that like even driving to Knoxville
Yeah.
for me, which is 2 hours on the long end,
Yeah.
means I don't see my family that night.
Right.
And that's like
Yeah.
kind of what you're Pruitt saying. But like whenever you're like the headline feature spot, you're like, it's not just a random Wednesday roast battle that I don't see my family. It's
Right.
every Friday, Saturday, and a lot of Sunday I don't see.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
like where the tough part of it
Yeah.
is for a lot of people.
I think probably Pruitt more than me. Don't Tell has changed that drastically for me, where now for sure 2 weekends out of half of every month, 2 weekends, I for sure am busy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like at 10 a.m. I pick up my chair rentals, and then I have until showtime to get everything else. Like at no point am I
Yeah.
I'll squeeze something in on a Saturday, and usually on a Sunday we do this, and then I'm
Yep.
home, and then the week starts again. So half of my week are not of it already,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but also I'm just so like I don't ever want it to sound like I'm complaining about that, because not only did I do this to me, I love it.
It's a
No, you
huge
can
opportunity.
you can
Huge.
you can
and like you can
you can complain and still be grateful.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Like, I like my current job.
Right.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna bitch about it.
yeah,
Sure,
You know.
I like my job, but
Did you have?
listen,
I meant to ask you. Was that a coworker of yours at our show last night?
Yep.
Did he come? Did he know you were on it?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. I was gonna say it.
Well,
Are you telling me you told?
No, I said, he's like, hey, what have you got coming up? I was like, well, I can't say anything, but there's this stuff called Don't Tell Comedy.
Yeah.
You should check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
was
that's
great.
still telling.
They were great.
Yeah.
No, I know it. Like I get both sides of what we're saying. By the way, like I don't know. It's a tough balance with. I think it's a certain type of person who can embrace the loneliness, who becomes very successful, and then you hit a point where like you're the most famous comedian in the world, and you bring your entire act with you, and you're hanging
and see,
out
like
all
that's,
the time.
and the thing is like these huge headliners and stuff. I think we talked about this a little bit, but like these huge headliners and stuff, they're not picking their features off of their material
Right.
or anything. They're picking them for how good they hang out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
I don't remember
because
if we said that on mic
you're
or
spending 22 hours a day with them.
oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The
I
only
mean,
time you have away
it's-
from them is when they're on stage and you're on stage.
Oh yeah, well that and not to diss any feature or opener or anything like that. The people bought those tickets to see that headliner.
Yeah.
They don't give a single shit who the opening.
No.
You don't care who the opening bands are.
No.
Rarely. I'll say
I will
rarely.
say I've found some really nice bands that were openers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. I didn't buy the tickets
yeah.
to see them.
It's more of a surprise, right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always happen. I've seen
And
some
so
openers.
like when they bomb, they're like, like they can bomb for 5 minutes
Right.
or,
When I-
have a rough 20.
yeah.
when I saw
No pressure.
When I saw Matt Rife, the opener, the first guy who I loved, I thought he was the funniest on the show, but would probably be generally considered a bomb in that audience.
Yeah.
And like nobody cared. Everyone was
Do you
excited.
remember his name? Who was it?
I don't remember his name, but I fucking liked him a lot. He had one of the funniest political jokes, which I don't really like political humor because I feel like it's a dead horse
Do
at
you
this
know if
point.
he
Right.
was local?
He was from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, then.
Something Caruso.
Okay. Well, a lot of times,
I think-
especially, I don't know, Matt's probably beyond that now, but a lot of times when you first start headlining big stuff, the local, if it's that was a theater, so that's
That was a
different,
theater.
or auditorium.
Auditorium.
But
It was a theater.
with a
Yeah, whatever.
club like with Zanies, usually they'll throw one of theirs as the opener. Like
Yeah.
when Santino's in town, Zach Townsend told me that he's open for him enough now to where Santino goes, I want Zach Townsend.
Yeah.
But he's still a local. Like he's not necessarily flying Townsend out to California to open for him, but when he's in town, you're
Yeah.
my opener.
Yep.
And that a lot of
Yeah.
times which I think for anybody who's made it this far into the episode who isn't a fan of comedy, which is probably nobody.
I
But
highly doubt they're
a lot
listening to the
of-
40-something episode this deep into
A lot of
it.
people just don't know the structure though, and that
Yeah.
behind the curtain stuff is interesting, I think.
That's like one of my little goals, especially for being, here in East Tennessee and everything, is certain comics want me for their opener.
Right.
That's or their feature.
On the
you know,
East Coast.
on the East Coast,
Southeast.
and the more I can do that, the happier I am. I'm like
Right.
I love opening for Cliff Cash.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a blast to hang out with.
How many times have you opened for him now?
3 now, I think.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he does his like one man shows, his private shows and stuff like that. So like to tour with him, I think that would be just awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun. I'd
Sure.
learn a lot. I'd love to be able to tour with Mo.
Yeah.
It's but like I said, that's stuff that's gonna have to wait till probably next year when I don't have a normal job.
Well,
Because
the other thing
when
too
I don't
is-
have a normal job, then I can do all this comedy shit.
Right.
But right now I have a normal job, and
That's also
next
the
year,
issues I run into.
Let me ask you
well,
this.
next year I'll be able to
Normalcy.
retire. So
Right.
Yeah, I cannot retire next year,
yeah, well,
unfortunately.
I am a lot older than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Pruett, let me ask you this. Do you feel like confinement is not the word that I want to use, but for the restrictions that you have, your job, your family, all this stuff, you're in this area. Do you feel like you're doing the most you can as far as comedy goes?
Nope.
Right. So then that must make you go, well, when I hit that point, that's when it's like.
Yeah, I mean, so like, in all truth, I could hit an open mic 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I do 2 or 3.
Right.
Right. I could get an extra rep in.
Yeah.
I could go to Asheville more.
Yeah.
You
Could reach out to more people to book you. Like,
I definitely could do that.
Me too.
I am not sending out videos. I'm
Yeah.
not sending out emails
Yeah.
because I don't know where I'm going to be.
Right.
And for most of this, because of my work schedule, I have to take vacation.
Yeah.
So like even to go to Knoxville, I have to take vacation.
you work like super early in the morning, don't you?
No, I work late at night. I work till like 7 at night.
I thought you worked in the
So-
morning for some reason. I do have a piece of advice before we wrap up. I know we've been at a couple episodes without advice, so I
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
advice for comics out there. It is on you to get booked.
Yep.
It is. Don't
Yeah.
wait for somebody to book you. It is on you to
Yeah.
reach out if you know somebody books a show.
Well, how many comics do we know that do that shit? There's one in particular that comes, and I'm not going to say his name, but there's one in particular that for the last 2 years, really, because he started very similar time to me. Every time I'm around him, all I hear is, man, I'm not getting booked. How do I get
And-
booked?
yeah.
You have
You're
to-
getting booked. How do I get booked? And I'm like, dude,
It is
fuck off.
on
Like,
you. Ask a booker.
do
hey,
it. That's how. Do
you
it.
got a show I can
Yeah.
be on. Here's my clip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's my clip. I
I
can
think
do
it's a
5,
fear
10,
of
50, whatever.
rejection also. And that's
And
fine.
and
gotta
you're gonna have to
thick
swallow that
fucking
shit.
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have thick skin if you're going to be in this
Yeah.
game. Because if you don't have thick skin, if you're scared to get rejected by a booker, what are you going to do whenever somebody starts heckling you?
I got a little bit broken about 2 weeks ago.
I remember.
almost teared up. I was so unhappy about it.
What happened?
I put in for a festival.
Mm-hmm.
I was really looking forward to it. Did not get in.
Yeah.
And
someone else did.
dumb.
And fuck him. I'm on your team. Fuck him.
And somebody else did. Somebody that I really respect.
We love him.
And I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I put in for that festival, sent in what I thought was like the tape of my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
sent my best tape.
That comic does deserve to be in that festival.
He absolutely
you
does.
Also deserve to be in that
absolutely
festival.
does.
Well, here's the truth too. He didn't get it instead of you. That's not how that works.
No.
Right. Yeah.
I
didn't look at it that way. I didn't look at it that way.
But it does suck whenever you find out, oh, he got in and I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know.
And as soon as I got the rejection email, saw the rejection email is like, it's not even hey, better luck next time. It's here's the list of people that made it.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're not.
And I'm not on that list.
I don't
right?
like that.
And
I'm gonna
so,
be honest with you. I
get, and the rejection emails apparently went out. Either that or they went out alphabetically, maybe. I don't know. But I got the notification before he did. So I see his name and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then I don't see mine.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
And immediately, the only thing you can do in that situation is go, hey, bud, congratulations.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to crush it. I'm so happy for you.
Which is the right thing
That's
to
the
do.
right thing to do. And he's a great.
He's a very funny guy.
He's funny as fuck. I respect the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good dude. He's a friend.
Yeah.
So, like.
But also, fuck him.
But also, fuck him. No, but it did hurt.
Yeah.
Because it was a festival I was really, really excited about. And I put in for this is the first year I've put in for festivals, and I've put in for 5 of them.
Yeah.
So I know this is the first of many rejections.
Of course.
Hey, but it just takes one.
Well, also, kind of like
Just
we
takes
opened
one.
up the episode with, of sometimes you just need that thing to piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
And go, you know
Yeah.
what? Next year I'm submitting a tape that's twice as good, and I'm gonna get on that festival and I'm gonna fucking destroy that.
I honestly don't know how I can top the tape I put in though.
Nah, you.
Pruett, I
You'll eat
haven't
those
seen the
words.
tape.
You'll eat those
You
words.
can top the fucking tape.
You
put
top
in.
your own set every time.
Every
you go
time I
up.
see you, you were funny.
You're gonna keep topping everything. Yeah.
I think we do have to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Pruett, I know you already. Do you, any other shows? I know you kind of plugged them earlier. Anything else you want to plug?
I'm gonna start doing more on ye old TikTok. So Pruett Comedy, Pruett Comedy.
Do
Follow
we have
me
any announcements about Hangover also? Or we?
Hangover. The kitchen is
Sorry,
getting there. It's fucking getting there.
I'm sorry,
It is no fault of my partner in crime.
Yeah.
My best friend Joey Gray. He has worked his ass off and he has done a beautiful job.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on one particular thing.
I want to give a shout out to Joey real quick. That has nothing to do with comedy, but Joey, thank you for always having my fucking back in our jobs.
Yes.
He has my back currently. Right now,
great.
he's doing a couple of things for me.
He's the man.
He is, like I said, he's, best friend, dude. I mean, that dude, I cannot say enough good things about him. His family, just
Me and
everybody. Joey is like one of those people that you would hope to have in your life.
Yeah, of course.
me and Joey almost committed an arson together recently. I don't know if I told you about that.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And I love that he's gangster enough that he would do that for you.
No. It was doing it for him. Me and him were about to burn a place down on his behalf.
Yeah.
Still, the jury's still out. It may happen.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lighter on me right now.
No,
Right.
so you got Hangover is the fall. I'm assuming sometime fall, winter.
Yeah. And we are going to start having guests. We've already talked about that. We've already got a couple lined up.
Yep. Yep.
We are going to be doing some really interesting stuff with Hangover Helper. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We will be able to do multiple camera angles. The lighting is going to be great.
Yeah. There'll be clips coming out of that also, I assume, for social media.
Yep.
And that,
Yep.
so that's all Pruett Comedy.
No. Well, Hangover Helper is going to have its own. It's got its own channel.
Okay.
So it's going to have its own YouTube, probably its own TikTok.
Yeah, that's great.
And so that way we can do reels and all that stuff. So that goes back to expand your brand.
Yeah,
right.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick, and you can cut or whatever you need.
No, you're fine.
But real quick, every big comic that you quote unquote grew up with and everything, you probably saw them in a movie first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so like all these comics that are really making it nowadays, they're in movies, their podcasts are blowing up, you know, they're doing whatever they could, like those guys are working.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of comedy are just working their asses off doing everything.
Everything.
You know,
You gotta diversify.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like and plus I enjoy the shit out of Hangover Helper. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's a
you made
great
me.
show, too.
You made me think of something. Something Nathaniel and I talked about coming soon to Talkin' Bits podcast near you is multiple camera angles. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, we're
We
going to do
did.
some changes to the structure, and that'll all
Yep.
be taking place between now and the big 1 year episode that's
yeah.
coming.
Nice.
And of course, we keep plugging that too, but we've got some ideas for that. And
Oh,
we're
I've
gonna-
already talked to the guest about the 1 year, and they are on board.
Cool. I've got some surprises in store for Michael too. So I think
Yeah.
we're gonna do sort of surprises
Hell yeah.
for each other, and then a little cold open with a special someone, and maybe some interviews and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's
Fuck yeah.
fun.
Fuck
And
yeah.
Pruett will probably be back too. So.
For the 1 year?
Yeah, he's here all the time.
He is here. He has a bed in my basement.
He'll be here next week.
So
Just pop in, we'll say now, and then leave.
for me, I don't have a lot of shows coming up because I don't take my own advice and reach out to book some shows. But I think my comedy hiatus is kind of over. I think I'm back at it. I did those mics in Nashville, and it made me really fall back in love with making people laugh. And I'm gonna really look at my calendar and make at least 1 or 2 up mics a week work. And I want to get booked again. But I do have a show that is not official. It's probably gonna happen. It's not anything crazy. It's just about It's just about a 5-minute set, but it'll be in front of over 1,000 people, which is really cool.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Coming up in like October.
Yeah.
When I have more details on that, if I know the date, I don't know the date yet, but when I have everything on that, I will shout it out properly.
So come out and watch Michael bomb in front
Oh,
of
I will
1,000 people.
100% bomb in front of 1,000 people.
It's good
and
money,
I
though.
Can't wait.
good
It
money.
is good money. But nothing like doing comedy before a bunch of bands take the stage. Anyway.
Oh, it's one of those? Hell
Yep.
yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
but
Yeah, you're going to eat all the dicks with
so-
chopsticks,
I
man.
can't wait.
It's worse than you could possibly
I
imagine.
can't wait to ruin my career in front of 1,000 people.
Hey, if they're paying,
Exactly.
Fuck 'em.
Be a good Christmas.
Michael Rose comedy.
Michael Rose Comedy on Instagram and Threads. Talking Bits Pod on Instagram and
Yeah, so for me, I've got a couple things coming up. It's hilarious. I just looked at my calendar. The first thing, Monday, July the 8th, I have a therapy appointment at 11:30 a.m. So that's the first thing to come up. So Friday, July the 12th, I've got that show for Grampy. So that'll be in Kingsport. That'll be a lot of fun. I don't know that full lineup yet, but I am in a group chat for it, so I should. It's going to be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun. Same venue that you had. a good
I'm coming
time
to
at.
see that, by the way.
That'll be great. Yeah, so Pruett will be hanging on the following night, Saturday the 13th. I've got Don't Tell. That's going to be another Johnson City location, brand new venue, first time headliner, first time all features. As far as it's going to be, no one on that show has been on a show with us before in this area, and it's a brand new venue. It's super exciting. It's a brand new built venue as well. Like it's all brand new. So that's going to be super fun. Check that out.
the face I just made was me trying to figure out where it was.
Don't
just so
Tell
you guys know.
comedy. Real estate. Then the following weekend, Saturday the 20th, I've got a show in Kingsport at Gypsy Cider.
Nice.
Fun
room.
for
Fun
Robbie
room.
Taylor. I'm gonna be doing I think 20 minutes. On
I didn't know
that
Robbie
show.
booked
Hell
Gypsy
yeah.
Cider.
They're doing a little bit more now since Market Street
I thought Hunter
closed.
booked that.
No, that's Model City.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, the 20th, that's a Saturday, so I'll be doing a lot of time there. So if you want to see me do a longer set, check me out there. The following
You don't.
Saturday, the 27th, I don't have it locked in just yet. I'm trying very hard to make sure that is the headliner that we've teased for Don't Tell coming up soon. She is fucking phenomenal. If I don't get her then, we'll get her soon. But the 27th will be our next one then. And then on the very last day of the month, the 31st, Meredith Kerr and I have a show up in somewhere in Virginia, for LA Preston. So that's Meredith's show.
Fun. Love LA.
I'll be driving her and probably being grossed out the whole time by Meredith. So come check us out if you're in Southwest Virginia. That's 31st of July.
All right.
But
You
check us
bringing
out.
Dustin with you? Learn a little more about. No, I'm sorry. Okay.
No top contact.
Yeah.
Talking Bits Pod on
Love you, Dustin.
Instagram. Don't Tell Tri-Cities on Instagram. Just follow us. Follow Pruett if you're not already.
And
You're
follow
a fucking
them.
loser.
Follow
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Mostly Pruett. We're here for Pruett.
We are.
This show is actually just
Hangover
a
helper.
platform for Pruett. That's it's all a ruse.
Hey, expand your brand.
Expand it.
Expand your brand.
We love you.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Later.